just kind of going to be sitting passively.
Right. I'll let you do this for a moment. I'm going to ask her to upload her raw file.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. These are working.
Not one table left on the flower. No table shall be left on the flower. I lived in my car. I'm behind. So there might be coffee residue that will actually help the flowers grow.
One channel. Shouldn't be getting.
Are you doing the live?
I hope so.
I mean, I was in live stream.
You know, all my friends had died other than my parents, died.
Where is a good place if we wanted to have like an event where people could just watch the video that's not
So it's just like
something like that?
Or, you know, like
Yeah, that's a good idea.
you know,
A longer video.
well, yeah, that's like I really
No, but it was the like governing body. No, the club thing, the one that he's so this really
yeah.
That's like There's still like a little town setting. Yeah.
we're gonna sit right here. I was uncomfortable, so. Although I was
I'm so sorry about all this.
No, no worries. So whatever he's doing, however they get it to work, I'm hoping that. But
I didn't know. Would that help?
potentially, yeah. Because I think our best bet right now is to see if we can upload whatever you've done
Yeah.
and send it to Rivera
Sit back here. Sit back here.
Right.
on Google Drive.
I'm not seat. Good, yeah, so I still follow the school calendar, so I'm kind of off for the summer. Yeah, so the program was funded again. The program is funded again.
Oh, okay.
No, you're good. You're just so long as you're fine with it.
Well, runs from K to 12. Yeah. The after school program.
We just discovered
All the
this
time.
when we were just in Kingston a couple weeks ago. We just moved here. To be a combination of it. Bookstore and bar and yeah, this it was really a dive bar. Like, this is actually nicer than it used to be, but I love that it we saw it was nuts. Like, still in the
Yeah, we were right close as friends, like we're friends. Like we were looking for a place and you know,
it was really a dive bar. I'm Chris.
So many different systems here, but
Yeah.
see if there's any. Also, if you need to plug in, there's that.
Thank you.
It's there's a board, there's a ton of stuff. It's a separate entity.
Hey Sarah.
Hey.
Sorry, I didn't say this week. Could it possibly be that you don't have enough file space on your laptop, and that's why it's...
Yeah. I tried putting it on a USB and that didn't work either.
Can you export it straight to a cloud service like Google Drive?
So,
I'm not sure.
my one suggestion is just to double check that the sound is coming through that system.
Good point.
all the parents come straight from work. Pick up the kids. And there's also breakfast programs, a bunch of kids.
Right, exactly.
Can I export the iMovie file directly to Google Drive? Do you know?
You have to export it to your computer
And then Google Drive.
yeah.
She has that letter.
She said she wanted to be closer, but probably was me trying to make all the, you know, with the dialogue that's going on. Coffee is really good. I really like it.
Everybody else?
I don't think rarely do you get coffee from a firm like that. You're like, wow, that's really good. Yeah, this place is nice work, but it's like Kingston has a bunch of really great, like, it has several excellent bookstores. You know, can you imagine living in a place that has more than one?
She was saying, like, we were talking about
Kingston is
yeah,
It's a little more distant. It's like a little slower to get to. It's not so close. That being said,
You got that there.
Historic part, which is considered uptown, this expansive businesses is more residential and downtown is and artists community too, which is more important as a model.
we were like very late it's like an arrest, it's a cycle, like arresting and putting people back. And then you have people trying to check them out there to spy.
This was on the floor.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Did you have any luck over there?
No, not yet.
Yeah. Miami. Yeah. I came yesterday. Yeah, I leave tomorrow. Definitely. How's everything? Good? I know you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was in Georgia. Yeah, I was in Georgia for like 2.5 years. Oh no, I was like in the suburbs, like Kennesaw. So I was there for about 2.5 years. You still in New York?
It's weird because when I lived in New York City for 10 years, I had a great community there, but everybody really south.
So is Rivera's thing not working now?
Correct. Yeah.
Shit.
I don't even know.
This year,
For some reason I feel like it's all my fault, but it's not.
I mean, there is an on-campus tech support
Yeah.
week called. Should I do that?
No, I don't convert. But it's supposed to be a spoken event anyway, you know?
Yeah. This is really
I feel like
frustrating. All right, thank you.
yeah, appreciate it. Nothing?
I mean, I'm still exporting. I just
Okay.
cleared off a bunch of space on my hard drive.
I'm definitely gonna try to get out there. Crazy with the band and everything. We're gonna have like a break sometime.
See, but that's the thing. It's funny.
Like me, over here, like always gonna do
We did a little 3-day tour. We went from Rochester last week. It was good to experience a 3-day tour to know that I don't want to do it for like 2 months.
like 10 minutes before, like, wow.
They couldn't get it there. Emailed us, but sometimes they just spam us and whatever. So we're driving up and I want to. We're trying to get into SoFi. We've been in touch with them. They said, "Oh, we like you guys." They say all this stuff, and then the club owners, you got to go back. So sooner or later, we're going to have to.
So we're going to be over there.
We'll play SoFi. I'll let you know. It's beautiful, big. I guess it's a brewery, but they have it set up with all of these little couches and chairs. It's really amazing. This spot,
This like antique truck downstairs. Like pretty nice spot. A lot of dancing.
No, our sound took the kids, and they were like, apparently they changed bookers. We emailed them, like when they first were opening up, they wrote us right back. Yeah, we like you guys. Here's the deal. You know, it's like, you agree to this type of terms, and I'm like, yes, they can fix the dates. And then it just went. And then we found out that the booker left, and they have somebody else now. We're hoping like October, November.
I was on stage and I went singing bass player, very charismatic front person.
We're not talking about Bosco. It's a couple. Was it like classic, like 80s, 90s covers? Like they do a vocal shot. Maybe it was Swift. That's probably not Bosco. Bosco and the Storm, we did no, really. It's like he has this whole family affair, like musician,
Maybe they want to do one.
If I just have to be patient with this.
Success over there.
Okay.
Cool. Success over here.
Working on it.
Almost.
I deleted like everything off my hard drive, so.
Oh dear. The only question I have, so I've set up your media to play through my computer. It will play, but I don't know if the sound goes through. I can like test it real quick, basically. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and basically synchronize when you press play to something. I'm gonna also be pressing play on the.
Okay, so are we ready?
Just about. Let me real quick double check that it. So should I say to wait for this or just do it whenever? Let's see here.
Yeah, we should get going.
How do I just play this? But yes, Sarah, do you think it's... Should we wait or just...
Ooh, I think it's here. Yes. Okay, I will put that in the drive. Yes, and we'll be all set.
Okay, yeah. Where are you going to put it?
In draft combo.
Okay.
Is that okay?
I won't put it in draft. Will it? I don't know. Either way, I'll do it.
It's in videos. Okay, I will put that in the drive. Yes, and we'll be all set.
Okay, yeah.
Thank God that you did.
Where are you going to put it?
In draft combo.
Okay. I won't put it in draft. Will it? I don't know. Either way, I'll do it.
It's in videos. Okay, I will put that in the drive. Yes, and we'll be all set.
Okay, yeah.
Thank God that you did.
Where are you going to put it?
In draft combo.
Okay. I won't put it in draft. Will it? I don't know. Either way, I'll do it.
It's in videos.
My guy. Dude, you should be about to catch me, bro. I mean, it might sound weird, but I didn't realize that upstate people actually read the school. Not only that, they like to hit people left and they see it, and it's like... Everyone's 130, they just walk. They said, if I won't go, nobody will. Yep.
Yeah, she's...
And I look like that. And I get called again. Yep. Waiting for next
actually, what's it called? One of my boys, like, he works with the dude, yeah, but my boy Christian, he does something called Off the Cuff. Like, he partners with him sometimes, and I saw, like, when I saw that, like, I remember seeing that type of shit.
Sad to say, like, when you were first, it's 21 poetry. So I enjoyed it. I saw Tony outside. When you saw outside, he picked me up and just like swung me around. Because the good.
Yeah, I'm see Tony. Tony told us that the margin could
Hello. Hi.
No, we can talk about that. Like, I thought she might have been here, so we kind of talk about some more about that.
Okay, great. Hi. Hello. Good afternoon. Now, if you can hear me, blink twice. Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming to celebrate Jordan Taylor. I've known Jordan since 2013. We met here in SUNY at SUNY and New Day Ensemble, the club of Blacktors. So put on many plays. Jordan is a very dear person to me. He was just someone who was great, funny, very charismatic, very hyper energy. He was always ready to hype someone up. And I just wanted to have a space where those of us that knew him and couldn't make it to the family memorial could have a place to celebrate him. I know he organized in the Hudson Valley, so many people from organizing and just working, and so many people know him from the Paltz, and so many people know him from home in Rockland County. So just wanted to provide a more central space for us to celebrate his life. And I didn't introduce myself, I'm Shapria. But yes, thank you all for coming. So to kind of start out, I just want to check in, see how everyone's feeling. Grief is hard. If you've experienced loss or losing someone close to you, grief is unpredictable. So just wanted to get a feel for how people are feeling and dealing with this loss. Feel free to nod your head, cry, do anything that you need to. We have the space for that today. There are tissue boxes on the tables, mints, snacks in the back. There are cards for sharing memories, and just enjoy the celebration of our dear friend. And welcome. Thank you all. So Callie is going to come up and discuss the fundraising efforts, because we were thinking of a fundraising scholarship, but Callie will come and tell us more about our plans and how things have changed and how much we fundraised.
Thanks, Shapria, for organizing all of this. I'm Callie McKenzie. I did want to say a few words at the same time, and some of you may have heard this family memorial, but it just feels really important to say. And I just want to start by saying how that noise is wild. Okay, great. I just want to start by saying how, just expressing gratitude for the fact that I knew Jordan, and I got to know Jordan. And I met him through organizing, for Black Liberation, and over the years, really just witnessed him come together and organize so many different events and knock doors and organize rallies and just like pull people together. Like that was Jordan, just pulling people together. And he had a commitment to breaking down all of these systems of oppression. It was a fierce, fierce advocate for Black women and the LGBTQ community. He really just showed up always just exuding love. And I think that was really, really apparent. It's apparent in this room. It's apparent through the group of folks that formed, as the search party, and the group of folks that are forming and continuing to form through, to support us through this grief and this loss. And a group of folks who said, like, hey, let's start a scholarship. Jordan was a student organizer, an artist, an activist, and I feel the need to say this, former two-term Student Association Vice President of Affairs and Governance here at SUNY Paltz. There was just conversations about, like, let's start a scholarship. Let's just make sure that people can continue to do this. We're like, cool. And we started a Signal thread, and we were like, how do we start a scholarship? How does that work? What does that look like? And did a whole bunch of research and pulled out all, we talked to a whole bunch of folks, and just like shout out to Catherine Doss, who's like the alumni development officer here at SUNY New Paltz, to help us figure out actually the best thing to do is to start a fund that is going to benefit the Black Studies Department. And so it's not going to go to one individual student, but it's going to go to the Black Studies Department. It's going to help to expand student access to networking opportunities, field trips, conferences, and special guest lectures. The Department of Black Studies at SUNY New Paltz is one of the first and oldest of its kind in the nation, established in 1969, devoted to providing an accurate and thorough treatment
But that's the thing, it's funny, right? And this is
people and African ancestry, examining the impact of current forces that shape the Black experience and contributing to a basic understanding of the unique issues faced by people of African ancestry. And I really just want to say that's really, really important, because that, as we know, is just like in Jordan's bones. And so we made this commitment that we want to raise $10,000 this year. We're almost halfway there. Last time I checked, we're at about $3,500. There are flyers with QR codes on everybody's tables. For folks who are watching this on the live stream, I don't know, but there's a bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/JMT SUNY, all lowercase. And you can fundraise, you can donate right at that link. You can also start a team, and fundraise in that way. As we were talking last night, we had a fundraising concert over at Snugs, which was amazing. Shout out to the TMI initiative too for playing. We said this is just the beginning. Like, we could just do this every year. Like, we're just gonna have this big old thing and just keep trying to raise money. But for now, let's try to get to $10,000 so that the Black Studies Department can thrive, and that the next generation of Jordans can continue to be educated at this at this institution. And the last thing I'll say is that Jordan has a legacy, and the word legacy feels so fancy, but to be under 30 and have a legacy, to know that everyone in this room and just like outside, and, in New Paltz, in the Hudson Valley, in New York City, in Rockland County, like everywhere, has some sort of change in their life and is impacted by the work that Jordan did. That's a legacy. So hoping that we can all contribute whatever we can, encourage people to donate. If everyone takes I'm an organizer, here we go. If everyone takes a photo of the flyer and posts it to their social network, everyone, can donate, and that's all it'll take. So thanks for letting me share, and thanks for showing up for Jordan, and yeah, thanks. But so the next portion
So we're going to show a video. So the creators of this video, or the put-togethers of this video, would you mind coming up here and saying a bit about it before it gets started? And then the rest of the time, I really want to allocate towards if anyone wants to share or say anything, even if it's in regards to how you're dealing with losing Jordan, if there's any just like words of encouragement or things that you want to share with the group, but kind of just utilizing more of the space for just talking and checking in with each other. So,
Hey, Jonathan worked on this video. Jesse, Sarah, and Alex together put together a couple of clips that I don't know. I feel like it shows Jordan in his liveliest with friends, performing, all that stuff. So enjoy.
But I did want to also say, because I mentioned earlier, the power of comedy was mentioned, and like, yeah, man, comedy is an educator. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not giving you room or right. No, I didn't do that. He's big. He's a football player. I wasn't gonna go tell him that. But I also wasn't getting stunted on by a 14-year-old. All right. So what I did was devise a plan with my compatriots to get away from him and run before he got to the car. I'm running around making all kinds of just nonsense noises. And I see him running, getting closer. I don't know what to do. Then all of a sudden, all like magic, the three of them come busting out of the pizza place like, he's coming! He's coming! I'm like, I know, I'm trying to tell you that. These aren't words we're not saying, but this is what we're feeling at each other. We're doing feelings at each other. I'm like, we gotta get to the car. Like, we know. They come busting out, run into the car. Oh my God, there's no time to open the door. So we jump in through the windows, hit the glass basically. I'm dragging my leg out the car. Get away, I'm not just the game. Skipping the indecision, offensive with audition, original in my sinning. That's on y'all, so independent. So they asked me for my license registration. I handed my license. They asked me, what am I doing in the park? Oh, we're just hanging out. Cop goes into the back seat of my car and pulls out an ID. And it's like, oh, who is this? I'm like, you know, her name is on the, like, you don't gotta ask me who this is. You can read it for yourself, you don't gotta do that. Come on. I'm like, Sabrina Alahi. It's like, all right, and what are you doing hanging out in a park after hours with a 20-year-old girl? I'm like, I'm a 20-year-old boy. I don't know what you want me to do, what you think I'm doing. But yeah, you know, I think it checks out. Being black, you observe a lot of things. Like one time I was talking to this white dude, and we're talking about pudding. And we're just having a normal conversation about pudding. And he goes, and he says, I'm a fan of vanilla pudding. I don't really enjoy chocolate pudding like that. I have no issue with like chocolate pudding. I'm just saying it's not. I just don't enjoy it. And I'm looking at him like, you think I'm offended? You don't like chocolate pudding? You don't actually think we're made of chocolate, do you? Hey, look back, just drop by, check in the room, yeah. Throwing a lot of dreams and where we living at. Surrounded by the things, but where we living back. Can't get stuck in our minds, we know it's sublime. We got no time to not shine on the rise. Of flying high across the sky, so we find the reason why it goes by, and I find that it's just fine, and I when you leave, and you don't know it, but I love the thing you love when I show it. Got a hard head, I'll never forget the golden boy they said, shit in a told it. I never even knew my soul before I sold. Now I'm old, last spoke, it was so much of my weakest emotion. If we don't stand against it and fight it, then we become the system. If we stay silent, then we are the system. If we don't work to become the best version of ourselves, then we are the system.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back! And education is under attack!
Jordan, how are you? Just had a balance against tuition hikes. We oppose tuition hikes. This is a list of demands that financial items must buy.
You know the legislature's already acted.
Yes, but that's budget next year. So if you could just accept these.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for your interest.
Thank you.
Big leaders
That's
outside
the
of
point,
Obama.
right? Like we can't really do that leader thing anymore. You know, like we had leaders and they killed them, they co-opted them, they jailed them, you know what I'm saying? Like it has to be like these organizations, these groups of people moving forward and being connected to other organizations, right? Like we can't have the singular leader figure.
Black studies, save black studies, save black studies. So come on, dancing with straws and Medina's. We don't ask for acceptance. We don't ask for approval. We know who we are, and we want it. I guarantee you'll never hear two fingers snap together and not think of Miss Roberts. That's power, baby. Carry your pants and all.
And there's so much Kanye brings up so much contradiction for like so many people. It's a beautiful thing. And I think like honestly, like he's the closest thing to Jesus Christ that we can have.
Okay, bro. And was that this moment we knew?
And it was so weird because I was like,
like Osiris, see the haters that are gonna come and try this, but I stay four-dimensional, nigga, timeless. Said I'm upstate, nigga, I stay up. Pretty motherfucker, never been a player. You know me, Jordan Taylor. Levels to my shit, back to that later. Young boy in pursuit to be happy. Started feeling it, then shit got crappy. At times it felt good to be sad me. Head down, stand in my lane like a track meet. But I don't do track, I play tennis. Now I run wild on these tracks, public menace. I still do it for the love, get it? Lord of the land, niggas be my tenants. Alright, let me hop up on my ego. What you expect, you know Kanye is my hero. But I ain't him, I'm my own being. I just see the nigga, he gave my shit meaning. Shout out to my fam, yeah they held it down. And anybody that taught me knowing I was a clown. And everybody who could see me smiling through my frown. And any party where they always put the seat down. Yeah, I'm something like Osiris. Yeah, something like Osiris.
Oh yeah!
But yeah, this audience is a little racist, so that meant 3/5 of my jokes, but that's what I expected. I'm just kidding. I'm Jordan Taylor, have a good night. That's what the joke is for, lightening the mood when life feels like a chore. So let's get on with it, back to the tour. I want to welcome you to the Golden Boy. That's what the joke is for, lightening the mood when life feels like a chore. So let's get on with it, back to the tour. I want to welcome you to the Golden Boy.
time to sit with that video. Kind of just everyone take a moment to yourself. I am opening up the floor to anyone who wants to say something about how you're feeling right now. Kind of just be with the group, share the space. So take your time and come on down when you feel ready. And there are tissues on the table, guidance on the floor. And the mic is yours, the floor is yours. I'm gonna run upstairs and get Tony.
I'm Sarah, she, her. I went to school with Jordan at Paltz for 2 years. I obsessively took pictures during that time, and I didn't really know what it was for at the time, but I'm really glad looking back, especially now that I have them. So I put together this photo slideshow, these solicited photos from when I was young, but a lot of them are mine too. So it was a pleasure, and thank you for everybody that submitted.
What do you think? What do you think? How's the evening going?
I mean, honestly, like, what do you expect when Jordan Taylor's around? You know, you fuck with Jordan Taylor, you get fucked up. That's
speaking truth.
Regenerated, I feel great again. Elevated on my way to a better man. Met the spirits, I'ma tell you what they said to him. Find your inner voice, but don't do it for the fame and fans. Shut your mouth, open your mind. See the world, your third eye. You smoking weed, I'm smoking time. The old me, well he died. I'ma miss the nigga, moment of silence. Now I'm resurrected, something like Osiris. See the haters that are gonna come and try this, but I stay four-dimensional, nigga, timeless. Said I'm upstate, nigga, I stay up. Pretty motherfucker, never been a player. You know me, Jordan Taylor. Levels to my shit, back to that later. Young boy in pursuit to be happy. Started feeling it, then shit got crappy. At times it felt good to be sad me. Head down, stand in my lane like a track meet. But I don't do track, I play tennis. Now I run wild on these tracks, public menace. I still do it for the love, get it? Lord of the land, niggas be my tenants. Alright, let me hop up on my ego. What you expect, you know Kanye is my hero. But I ain't him, I'm my own my fam, yeah, they held it down. And anybody that taught me knowing I was a clown. And everybody who could see me smiling through my frown. And any party where they always put the seat down. Yeah, I'm something like Osiris. Yeah, something like Osiris. Just figured he was someone that I vibe with. Just figured he was someone that I rhyme with. Yeah, I'm something like Osiris. Yeah, something like Osiris. Just figured he was someone that I vibe with. Just figured that. Back to my shit. I got talent, y'all, I do this with my eyes closed. You know I really do regret the path that I chose. And I'm grateful that on each foot I got 5 toes. If you know the story, you know Osiris wouldn't mind those. Y'all ain't read the book, things fall apart. Then they come together for a fresh start. You'll survive the weather if you got the heart. No one's life is better, I thought you were smart. Find your inner shine, it'll keep you going. I just embrace mine, now the lyrics flowing. Got this beat for free, nah, I wasn't stolen. I don't knock the hustle, shout out to Frank Ocean. Gotta love yourself, that's what I realized. Anything less will lead to your demise. Let's keep it positive, that's what this song is for. Just a little introduction to the golden boy. Live the life you wanna live, you know you got a choice. Just don't hurt nobody, and always rejoice. Raising vibrations, feel it in your voice. Building brand new nations, making all the noise. It's okay to take a break and just be born again. Just don't fade into the background like an ornament. When I get quiet on my people like what's wrong with him? That means I make a difference, yeah, I'm on to them. If you know me, you know I'm limitless. This song ain't for you if you ain't into this. This ain't the big leagues, I'm just scrimmaging. Just wanted to create in my own image, man. Staying on my grind has brought me higher. Writing my own story, I am Josiah. Not paid for this, so I can't get fired. And I love this shit, so I can't get tired. I decided to build my own reality. Sometimes beautiful things can come from tragedy. Sometimes it pulls you down, yeah, that's that gravity. Sometimes I crack jokes and niggas laugh at me. But that's cool though, that's what the joke is for. Lightening the mood when life feels like a chore. So let's get on with it, back to the tour. I wanna welcome you to the Golden Boy. Feeling good to be me. Funny voice sounding like Gambino on the beat. Feeling like all my dreams about to be achieved. Generations gonna be modeled after me. Yeah, I've risen, the sky know my name. I'm different, think I know my game.
So, I will start. So like I said, I met Jordan here at SUNY Paltz in 2013. My sophomore year, this junior year. So I joined the club New Day Ensemble, and we were preparing for the Day of Absence for Black Solidarity Day, and Jordan was very happy that he did not have to play the mayor that year because the mayor had the most lines, and Jordan has done that role at least twice. And he was just like, finally, passing on the torch to this. And for those that don't know, so the Day of Absence is a play about all the Black people in a town disappearing during the 1950s. So this play is done in whiteface, and there are a few different roles, but at the Black Solidarity Day event, that show is performed. So that was kind of like the first, like just rehearsals for that, because we worked together a lot because he knew the script from the back of his hands. We just created this great friendship, and kind of just over the years, like even if we didn't talk as much, we would still send each other text messages and things, and kind of just full of love. The last text exchange that we had, I had texted him right before his birthday, and I was just like, I know we haven't spoken in a while, this was last year, but I was just like, you know, you're always in my heart. And then he replied, you're always in my soul. And that was so meaningful. And then during all of the search party things, and after, you know, getting the news, I vigorously searched my screenshots for this text message. And I found it, and it's one of the most meaningful messages that I've had from him. I remember when he graduated from New Paltz, I wrote him some like open when letters. A lot of it was like, open when you're sad, open when you're struggling, open when this, and he told me that he had still had those, and those are things that he used, especially when he was dealing with hard times and struggling with mental health. He would go back to those letters. And I would always ask, what did I write in them? I don't remember. He graduated in 2015. And he was just like, some good things. He's like, good enough for me to go back to and remember. So I just wanted to share that. You know, he's always in my heart. Someone who has had a great impact on me. And maybe just, I think Jordan was one of the people at New Paltz who really like made me pay attention to activism, pay attention to what is actually happening just overall with Black people, with all of the politics and stuff with the school and things like that. He was very much like, get involved as best as you can, because this is lifetime work in a sense. So I am grateful for being able to encounter and meet and love someone who was just so touching and beautiful in every way, shape, or form. And of course, you know, we all have our differences with people. That's just the reality of life. But I would say, everyone constantly talks about how Jordan likes to debate constantly. We never debated. He would just be like, you just listen, so I'm just gonna talk, and you're gonna and you're gonna validate everything that I'm saying. And then, so that is to say, he is someone who I truly hold dear to me, and I am grateful to be able to share and grieve in a space where people feel the same way. So, thank you.
I'm going to try my best to not be long-winded. Try my best to say this without getting emotional. I also met Jordan through SUNY. I came here in 2012. That's the year that we met, and through just, you know, Black Studies courses and, okay, here we go. So he's had a really big impact in my life, like on campus, off campus, over the phone, whatever. Me and him related to so much just because in the way that he has combined his love for art and his love for activism. That's very, very close to my heart. I've been an artist all my life, and I can't see myself doing anything but that. And I'm also so passionate about activism and doing the right thing and grassroots movements and pouring money and effort and love into anything that I can. And you know, I've been struggling my whole life trying to put those two pieces together. And through Jordan, I was able to kind of find that. You know, I was a commuter student after the first year, so I was kind of like in and out of the space, but he was just one of those people who was always a familiar face, who was always there. Anytime that I was struggling, he was always helping me. Even after we both graduated, I remember like occasionally he'd be like, "Oh, you want to go to? I'm going to be here in Poughkeepsie. You know, come meet up with me. I'm going to be doing this. Like, let's hang out." I remember having a little dinner date at Bacchus, and that's like one of those things I'll remember forever. As a commuter student, I was driving 40 minutes to campus and 40 minutes back home, and when my car got wrecked, he let me stay in his place. And there's so much that I could say. There's so much that I could say that I can't even put into words. How meaningful he is to my life, and of course everyone else's. He's had such a big impact. Trying to keep myself from crying, but I do want to add this note. I'm currently working on a project. I'm kind of, I've been self-employed as a photographer for many years now, and you know, when you're in the art field and you make a career out of it, you kind of get into like the hustle culture and the business aspect and the girl boss and all that stuff, and you kind of lose sight of the artistry. And there's a part of me that's just been like yearning for that, just getting back to the roots of the artistry. And through that transition and through all of this that's been happening, I've been thinking that a lot. And I'm actually looking to produce a magazine and just a media outlet in general that kind of has that combination of art and activism. And I'm hoping to have my first issue released in October, and I want to dedicate it to Jordan. I want to have a spread. A little other background info. When I first opened my studio, I have a studio in Newburgh. When I first opened it up in 2018, he was one of the first people in the studio. That was after I graduated. That was after we had left the campus. Like, he was always there. He was the first person to ever pay me for a photo shoot. And it was $50. And I'm like, I charge 10 times that now, but it's just crazy. He was the first person to just be like, hey, like, I want to, like, he was the one who was encouraging me, like, no, keep doing what you're doing, like, don't give up, like, you know, you're gonna do big things. And like, he saw that in me before I saw it in myself. And it's like this new venture that I'm going on with this magazine, and just the, you know, helping to contribute to grassroots efforts. And I want to honor him in that first issue. And it's just like, I feel like even though like I didn't have the vision of this idea until after he passed, I feel like he was my first sponsor. And I'm like, I would really love and appreciate if, you know, anybody who would want to contribute to this, I'm willing to give a free copy to everyone who contributes. What I want to do is I want to have a spread dedicated to him and have people submit, you know, love letters, and I want to call it Love Letters for Jordan. I saw one person post on his page with a poem, and I was like, I would love for that to be like right there. And like I said, I would love to give everyone a free copy. I can provide my email, write it down somewhere if anybody wants to just email their words, if they need maybe like 100 words or less, and just compile it together. Because I really feel like I want to honor him for the work that he's done, for the way that he's impacted people and how he's impacted my life, and the way that we truly can, like, art can change the world, and we can put people in the forefront, and we can increase visibility. The whole purpose of me wanting to do this is like, I want to use my gift and my artistry to highlight marginalized folks. I want every issue to be attached to a cause. And he was the first person to come to mind when I even had the idea, and I wish I could have collaborated with him on that. So I want to use that to like honor him and, you know, continue that effort. So thank you so much for your time.
How you guys feel tonight? I mean, this afternoon. How you guys feel? I said, how you guys feel? Feel good? Good? My name is Tony Adagula. I first met Jordan freshman year, 2011. So I knew Jordan for over 10 years, over a decade. I remember when I first engaged with Jordan, I'm just talking to people in Harrisburg, and I'm just enjoying it. We were just going back and forth in Harrisburg about hip hop and everything like that. He loved hip hop. As you know, as you may or not know, he's a rapper. I say is, because I don't say was, because he is still here. Feel me? He is still present. So he is a rapper. He's an artist. He's an activist. He's just a great human being. You know? I remember, funny enough, me and Jordan was a love triangle. And he won. And Jordan was that guy. And like, I used to be bad about it, but now I'm not bad. And like Jordan had a lot of love to give, oddly enough, and I remember that he had so much great energy, exuberant energy. The energy that you engage with, you will feel better about yourself. You know, you got that light in him. He is that light. You know. Me and Jordan still engaged way after college. We made a song together. And he was an artist, he's a rapper, and that's my bias, because I'm a rapper too. And I would love, you feel me, if I would have loved, like, just to continue making music with him. We talked about doing joint projects together. But, they say it's never too late, but the best thing I could do is with my art, I continue in the memory of Jordan. And I feel like that's what we all have to do. Everything we engage, especially in the stuff we engage that Jordan loves from us, we must have it in his memory. You feel me? That's what keeps it going. I have a poem. Can I spit it for y'all? Yes. All right. All right. Real G's don't die, they multiply. A phrase that deprives from the impact that one has on their loved one's lives. As we fear for the end, we must transcend just like the spirits of the fallen. A calling to understanding that real G's don't die, they multiply. Let's break it down. Real, as in the moments of laughter, joy, companionship, service, and this real person has shared with us. But also real as in the pain, the sadness, disagreement, disappointment, and now loss that this person has also shared with us. That is just some of what makes this person real. Real emotions, real memories, real friendships, real relationships, as I call real relationships, real love, real family, in real life. Now, real G's don't die, they multiply. G. What does that stand mean for Jordan? a lot of things. The guy, grateful, grand, groovy, genuine, glorious, gracious, genius, a glow, gold soul, a God, all of God. These are just few words that can describe the record of what this real G was and is to us. A G. Real G's don't die, they multiply. Don't die, they multiply. Now what do that mean? Simple. Out of death comes life. Like how the season changed from winter to spring. The leaves were falling, and then the flowers would soon bloom. The seeds of Jordan's tree is more than just laying on the ground. It's grounded in us, grounded in our souls. As the memories are embedded in us, we will cultivate the seeds through our hearts and in our actions. As those trees grow, Jordan's life will continue through all of us, multiplied in all of us, like the several lives he touched. Now, repeat. Real? Nah, wait, I'm getting to that. Now repeat. Real? Real. G's? G's. Don't die. Don't die. They multiply. They multiply. Let's put it all together. Real G's don't die, they multiply. Again. Real G's don't die, they multiply. One more time. Real G's don't die, they multiply. Now let's Jordan's life live on as a real G. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashley. This is my friend.
Brooklyn.
That's our group back there too, Voices of Rockland. They came and helped set up this thing and they helped a lot with Jordan. And we met Jordan through activist work in Nyack. We were standing in Nyack at the square protesting for George Floyd's murder. In the midst of that time, Jordan came and stood with us a few times, and then we ended up having our sheriff do some really racist things in our town. And we asked Jordan to be the voice and the face of our campaign to get him out of office. And Jordan did it without any question. He was amazing. And working with him was great, and getting to know him was awesome. Every event that we had, Jordan would try to come out and support us as much as he could, and we thank him. Sorry. But he was a great person, and I really, really am happy that I got to know him for the short amount of time that I did. We met him in 2020, and like I said, he was awesome.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, Jordan's a loved one. You know, I only met him in 2020, but he really touched my life. I heard the word legacy earlier today, and I really resonate with that in my experience with Jordan. He's just a solid presence who, like, you know, one of the people, what would Jordan Taylor do? And particularly, you know, right now we feel his absence. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to also feel that as motivation, and just want to thank God for Jordan Taylor. You know, thank Jordan Taylor for his presence here. And I'd like to share one anecdote, one memory I had of him, where Ashley was describing. There was one day when we were, you know, standing there, and you know, need to keep everyone's eyes open, but it was a fairly peaceful environment. And so I'm trying to get away from this ring here. Excuse me. And thank you. And you know, there was this young white brother who came up very aggressive, you know, kind of screaming. And I was so impressed by how Jordan handled himself and, you know, stood up for everybody in the environment. And, you know, my reaction to it, I was more just concerned for other people's safety. And Jordan was just responding from a place of strength and immense grace, and wasn't even, you know, could handle people, you know, maintaining safety, and was aware of the need for defense. But even beyond that, like, I just saw him giving love to this person who was clearly confused and coming up very hostily. And Jordan, in my opinion, without any recklessness, you know, with real love and grace, invited him to kind of take a stroll and just like connect as a human being. So I look up to my brother Jordan Taylor so much, and just, you know, want to say thank you again to God for him, and so nice to meet more of his friends here. Thank you for doing this for him.
Working with Jordan on the Falco video was my first video doing. So he opened the gate for me and Brooklyn to work together on future films. And we're going to be dedicating our last class. We're teaching a film course. We're offering a film course in Rockland County called Honoring African Cultural Continuity in Film. Which, you know, again, even just throughout this process, like Jordan Taylor, love him, you know. And tomorrow it's Lumumba, Patrice Lumumba, who was a freedom fighter who was assassinated in the Congo. And tomorrow we will be, you know, honoring Jordan with the video that he helped us out with in Rockland County. So, you know, good thoughts for this memorial that continues on in Rockland County tomorrow. And if anybody would like to join us there virtually, you can exchange information. And I did real G's don't die, they multiply. Amen.
That's good. Let's go.
Stories for days, so it's a whole story. Are you gonna? Are you gonna? Come on down.
Oh, go ahead.
Everyone. Thank you for whoever put this together. I do appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. As you can imagine, this is a very difficult time. So I've been isolating myself. I appreciate all the kind words and the thoughts. And I do agree with Tony about his last statement, which I can't remember because I'm old. What'd you say, Tony?
Huh?
What did you say?
What did I say?
Yes.
Real G's don't die, they multiply.
Okay, and I fully agree with that. As you know, sorry. Jordan was very multi-talented, as you know. He was very funny. He's been there since he was a child. He loved music. He loved to sing. Very smart. Very analytical. He was amazing. Hey, Sean. I just noticed you. He was a multi-talented individual. And you know, as a parent, sometimes you worry about your children, right? Those of you who have children. When they're kind and loving and care about everyone that is inclusive and diverse. You worry that there'll be people that will take advantage of them. And unfortunately, we live in a world where people do. So when you're around that, when you know that exists, sometimes you're a little bit overprotective of them. Because we know as you get older, not everybody that sits at your table is your friend.
Yes.
Not everybody that's with you is the best for you. And sometimes when you have all of those talents, unfortunately there'll be people who are jealous of you.
Yes.
Right? So we know, and all of us have our talents, correct? Everybody has their talent, knows who they are. But unfortunately, not everybody is genuine. And it's true that sometimes parents see that more than others because guess what? We live longer. And we can see it when some people don't. And sometimes we act in a way that maybe other people can't see why. But we know why. Because of what we see, the personalities and experiences that we've had. So yes, sometimes we're overprotective. And I am definitely one person that's guilty of that. For being a parent, and for being in the real world, and for what I've seen, and for being from Brooklyn. Yes, Jordan is definitely still with us. I isolate because I don't like the words die or dead. I believe in transition. My son said graduated, pass. I'm also the type that sees signs. I may be a little crazy, that's true, Callie, hey Callie. I may be a little, like you, I may be a little crazy, but I see signs. I'll give you an example. As you know, it's a hip hop anniversary child Christian. You know, I love hip hop, of course I do, not really. I may not like what it's turned into in terms of the language and the lyrics. I'm a different time, I'm a different age. That does not mean I don't appreciate the music, the creativity, the brilliance that's behind it. It's brilliant, and we know it. But they didn't give it credit back in the day because it was African American arts. But we know it's brilliant. I still don't agree with the cussing and the carrying on and the nasty talk. Come on. Okay, but with that said, moving on. You know, when they had Jay-Z's event at the Brooklyn Library, and they posted his, help me, his words out front. I said, I'm from Brooklyn. I gotta go. All right? Convince my husband to go. You drive down, and we found his license plate that says JMT. So I need to tell you who's with me. While we're driving, I get an email from CVS for Jordan Taylor. Now, really? We drive down in the middle of the day, right? And this is going through the city in Brooklyn in the middle of the day. We get parking right in front of the library where you can actually see it. I don't have to walk to search. We got parking right there. I said, that's true. And we didn't know where he was. I was getting emails from Samsung. That's his phone. I don't have Samsung. It kept on saying, upgraded. Upgraded. And he's been upgraded. This is yeah. When I was young, I used to love this song. You hear it now in the commercials. I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven with my boyfriend. With my boyfriend. You know that song? I forget who sang the song. It was one of my favorite songs. It's on the commercials now. So I didn't know where Trudy was. I said, Trudy, where are you? That song would come on. The other day I was in the mall. I heard this song from way back. I'm like, are you serious? I never believed that they can reach out to you when they're passed before. When my father passed back in 2013, that's when it first started. But it was constant. You hear people talk about these experiences, but you don't know it unless you have it yourself.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh my God, that's what they're talking about. So now, because I've had that experience back in the day, I recognize it now. So yes, they multiply, Tony. Right? They multiply.
Yes.
Okay, I agree with you. All right, I was looking for a number of writings, because Jordan was an avid writer, you know, back in elementary school days.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of writings, but I was trying to find something, I couldn't find something. And I also wanted to share this stuff to you, too. Jordan was such a loving kid back in the day. For example, if there's an ant in the house, and I tried to kill the ant, he'd get upset. On the way to the, I don't want to answer the house. But you don't want me to do it. Yes, Jordan debated about everything. You go to the backyard and lie on the grass. Says Jordan, don't lie on the grass. I can't lie on grass. That's just not a good idea here. There were days in Brooklyn, you can't lie on the grass up here. Right? I said at the service one time, my favorite thing is that one time I sneezed and I said, Jordan. And Jordan looks at me. He says, what? I said, I sneezed. I said, Jordan, I'm trying to say God bless me. No, you don't deny the currency. I mean, never. With that said, I did find one of his writings, which is recent. And I want to share it because he talks about himself. And I'll be quick. I have always, this is Jordan Marshall Taylor, his own writing. Okay, had nothing to do with me. I have always been an advocate for others. My passion for advocacy started within my own household when, as a child, I would intervene on behalf of my older brother during parent-child conflict. Additionally, I observed my mother as well as other persons advocate in my community for quality education. When I attended SUNY New Paltz, I knew that I too would be an advocate. I obtained a bachelor's degree in political science and Black studies. While on campus, I engaged in student government and was elected senator and subsequently vice president in academic affairs and governance. During such time, I addressed the creation of the Department of Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies, drug policy reform, tuition increase, student debt, and the continuance of the Black Studies Department. Following graduation, I became a community organizer and addressed multiple issues of concerns. During my advocacy for public transportation, I interacted with attorneys whose advocacy was pivotal to our strategy. When the city of the Hudson Valley wanted to substantially reduce bus service to low-income neighbors in the city, I assisted the attorneys with the interview of bus riders who would be impacted by such change. Based upon the information and their research, the attorney sent a letter to the Federal Transit Administration, who ultimately communicated its position on the issue. Our campaign supporting transportation equity endorsed candidates who were then elected into office. Based upon that experience, I learned how the skills developed in pursuit of a lower degree can strengthen my ability to advocate for a better society. There's no question that student debt creates financial insecurity for years to come. As a college graduate, I encouraged student debt. As a college student, I stood with my peers in Young Student Rising and opposed annual SUNY tuition increases. We advocated that SUNY tuition were created to be accessible to the public and should not be primarily funded by students and their families, especially since CUNY had a history of providing free education prior to the 1980s. When I was a kid, bottom line, my parents said, to get a certain grade, CUNY's free. Why is it so expensive? Now, it was free back in the day. It's nothing new. And Jordan knew that. As a result of such advocacy, which included statewide coordination and a march to the Capitol, SUNY tuition increases were frozen for 1 year. I participated in this campaign simply because I believe education, which is often referred as to the equalizer, must be accessible to everyone. Caring and loving individual, most definitely. And I appreciate the fact that you've arranged this for everybody to hear about that. But I also have to say as a parent that sometimes when we engage in our activities, whatever they may be, we may indulge in certain things that are not healthy. And sometimes we excuse it, but we use it as a coping method. So I think our love should also include whatever it does right now, but mental health, and be honest about how we cope, and that we don't overindulge. And that when we come across someone who's overindulging, we stand up and say, hey, that's overindulgence. That could affect your mental health. So I think I'm a different generation. I know I'm a boomer all the time. Always boom. Well, not always boom. Thank you. I know. I'm a boomer now. Okay? But as you know, as you get older, you get wiser. Right? And we don't have to, criticize each other. We don't have to do that. Just be honest and be kind. And love each other and be honest with each other. Thank you all so much. I so appreciate it. And Jordan is still here, right, Tony? Yeah. Thank you.
everyone. I'm going to keep it short because I know I spoke earlier about the scholarship. But I was listening to all these memories and watching all these, photos come across, and I was thinking about back in 2016, one of the first times I really spent time with Jordan, and we were at the Citizen Action Office, and we were talking about how to organize around the Movement for Black Lives policy platform. And there were just some heated conversations. We're gonna do it this way, we're gonna do it that way, like inside strategy, outside strategy, what are we gonna do? And it got, like, God, we sat there for hours, and as it got dark, we were like, all right, you know what, maybe we just need to, let this leave. And I remember being so mad, because I was just like, God, why is he thinking like this? Why does he want to do it this way? And we were all so mad. It was like 4 or 5 of us in there. And as he walks out the door, he turns around and he goes, I love you. I was like, I love you too. And I barely knew him, and he was just so full of love. And I read this at the service, but I want to say this again because, we definitely connected a lot around bell hooks. In All About Love, bell hooks defines love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. And that to truly love, we must learn to mix various ingredients: care, affection, recognition, respect, commitment, and trust, as well as honest and open communication. And I want to lift that up, I guess, just for a couple of reasons. I mean, Jordan was just someone, I don't know, maybe we both were the older people who were awake at 5 o'clock in the morning, but we would just have all these, intense conversations early in the morning, and actually the last time that I saw him, I reached out and I said, you want to go to a twiddle show? He goes, what's a twiddle? And I was like, it's a jam band, it's a jam band. And he's like, you're like Woodstock. What is this? And he's like, well, yeah, I'll go to Twiddle. I picked him up, and we went down to the Capitol Theater, and he was like, look at all these hippies, what is going on? But he was just like, thank you for bringing me to this adventure, And he was just willing to show up in so many different ways. And, and he stayed with me a lot, and I'd always just joke around with him because he would even want to we all know Althea, my youngest, they would go back and forth. They hear these stories of him being young, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like Althea. And Althea would be like, okay, Mr. Taylor. And I think that would be the moment, when they won. And, the last time that I saw Jordan in a dream, he was kind of just saying to me, he's like, I've been fine, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm good. And I'm like, no, I gotta text the signal thread. I gotta tell everyone you're okay. What are you talking about? He's like, can we just eat? And I was like, what do you mean? No, I gotta tell you. He's like, can we just eat, And I was like, there's no way this is real. And he said, I assure you, this is really real. And then I woke up, and that just sticks with me because I feel like he was just there, and I've heard from so many other people in conversations that on those same days they had very similar situations. I don't know, maybe I keep saying the last thing I wanted to say, but on December 15th of 2022, Bell Hooks died, and Jordan was the first one to text me to say, you hear about Bell Hooks? I said, what about Bell Hooks? Said, she's with the ancestors. And I was like, damn, Jordan. I was like, today's my first day sober. How am I supposed to handle this? And he goes, she's with the ancestors. So, it's okay. And so, Jordan's with the ancestors, and it's okay. So I'm just going to leave it there. Thanks, y'all.
Hi everybody, my name is Jesse. So I didn't really prepare anything to say, but I guess that sort of, would be in Jordan's spirit. So I guess it makes some sense to just try to wing it up here. Kind of my thinking is sort of incomprehensible to sort of, at least to me, feel like imagine sort of what we've lost, sort of in the same way that, sorry, I'm doing wrong. Okay, just be over here.
As long as the mic is facing this way.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so of course, I planned for a long time. I thought that, Jordan would be my friend throughout my whole life, and things have changed, obviously. And it's sort of, in my mind, incomprehensible to sort of figure out and to think about sort of what we've lost. Not just, sort of in the same way, it's hard for me, or it's impossible for me to comprehend 56 million years, or the distance from here to Saturn or something. I feel like it's incomprehensible for me to try to figure out and think about what we've lost, not just in my own personal interactions with Jordan for another 50 years or 60 or 70 years or whatever it would be, but what this world has lost, because, as you all know, he was such a special and incredible person, and, yeah, and, I mean, he was just, and you could spend 5 minutes with him, and I feel like, that would sort of leave an impact, and you would remember him for a long, long time. And just how empathetic and how sensitive to certain situations he would be. There would be sort of social situations, and I would sort of not pay attention to something, and hours later he would come back and he would say, "Oh, what did you think of that?" And then he would get me to think about it, and we would spend hours and hours theorizing about other people and motivations and what they're like and what they think about. And of course, as some of you had already mentioned, I mean, feels like we spent just an infinite amount of time sort of intellectually sparring with each other and debating, and I always kind of described it as we agreed on 99% of the world, and that 1% we would just blow up and sort of, take it to a whole new level. And, we had such passionate discussions and debates. We would get to points where, we would be like shouting and like we get more into it and more passionate. And it wasn't like trying to shout over, but at least for me, from my perspective, it felt like I just had to get this point in, and I had to get it in right now before it got lost. The only way for me to do that was to like say it louder and louder where it could be heard, And I feel like he was kind of in that same situation, and we definitely had that in common, and we had such similar interests. Took a bunch of the same classes together, did student association together. It was I'm a little less inclined to think about fate and destiny and that sort of thing, but I was assigned to be his roommate in orientation, and that was just sort of random, and it was incredible having known him, and yeah, I mean, I was thinking about stories, but there's just so many stories, and you know, it's just too, you know, sort of overwhelming to go back and try to think about specifics or one or, you know, stuff like that. So, but yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, like, yeah, he was incredible, and you know, I feel like, you know, I'll think about it every day, you know, moving forward, and I've thought about it every day now, and yeah, just love him. So.
Try not to cry.
Cry, you big baby.
My name is Jay. It's just I just want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you to Shabria for organizing this event. Thank you to Callie for organizing the concert yesterday. The show was amazing at Snugs. And for putting all the work in for the scholarship committee. You know, that's just been a great effort. Thanks to everyone who made today possible. Who made last night possible. Has made the last 8 months possible. It hasn't been easy for the last 8 months. I mean, I met Jordan the same year Tony came. You know, I met Tony right around the same time as Jordan, fall of 2011. I was in the Scholars Mentorship Program, and Jordan was as well. And you know, I just met these young first-year students, and I was happy to meet them. And you know, a lot of potential. Always wanted to make Black students feel like home here. You know, I was part of Black Student Union and did what I could to make sure that Black people felt safe here. Jordan being one of them. And you know, he was a star. He is a star. You know, showed him the ropes with student government. Mentored him. She shadowed me for the Vice President of Academic Affairs position in SA, and was always in my office. You know, just pop. You just come in my office all the time, just politics, you know, and you always have questions, and you know, I would give him my best answer. And, you know, he was a man of questions. You know, he always wanted to know more, and you know, I appreciated that about him, and was really proud of him when I graduated and he took the reins and baton, and, you know, carried that forward and led, you know,
left for 2 years more on campus, continued to lead in his community and Rockland, and you know, Jesse was my link to Jordan. I knew Jesse and Jordan were like brothers, you know. So I would always hit up Jesse to check in on Jordan, or if I heard about Jordan, I'd tell Jesse about it, you know. I mean, if you didn't speak Jesse, I wasn't gonna say anything. So, you know, Jesse was after graduating was my bridge to Jordan. And the last Black Solidarity Day I went to was in 2019, and Jordan went as well. And yeah, he was just, you know, just so grateful to be around. You know, just. You know, there's certain people in the world that you think of and you're like, you know, they don't come around often, you know, like, I mean, he just had a special ability to just fuse a lot of different skill sets into one. And, you know, yeah, he was just one of those people you just never wanted to lose touch, you know. Yeah, he was a true fighter, warrior, you know. And usually when I have tough times recently, I've been, you know, asking him, you know, what should I do? You know, just naming him and lighting a candle for him, you know, whenever I'm going through something. And just welcoming him into my space so he could show me what's the right path or sign to, you know, where I can go. Yes, okay. Thank you very much.
So my family knows that I don't talk in front of people, so bear with me. Two things. One, I'm Jesse's mom. I knew the week after he came to school that Jesse and Sean and Jordan were, well, Sean and Jordan were the things that happened with Jesse. I talked to Jesse a few days after he got here. They lived in Shango, the worst dorm in the place. They stayed there 2 years because they loved it so much, even though it was terrible. They had such a great time. But their door was open. The music was blasting. Everybody came into their room. It was probably the happiest time of Jesse's life. And I think Jordan and Sean were pretty happy then too. It's been that way ever since. The other thing I wanted to say is I'm a pediatric ICU nurse. I see lots of young children, people, adults die. Getting over that grief is so hard. One of the things you do, which I appreciated so much here, is checking in, making sure you're okay. As an older person, I would go home, I would say I was fine, everything was okay. I realized one time when I was watching Driving Miss Daisy, and she said to her driver, "You are my best friend." And I sobbed and sobbed. And I knew it wasn't just because of that. I knew it was from all the deaths I had dealt with recently. And I had said, "I'm okay. We can't do that. You need to check in. Watch a Driving Miss Daisy if you need to. Do something to reach out to other people." Jordan sent me messages too that I could tell Jesse on his birthday. I got messages from Jordan because Jesse couldn't function. And Jesse laughed for the first time that night because Jordan had told him it was okay. That was on January 26th, and we still didn't know where Jordan was. So Cheryl's right here. He's there. He's telling us. Joey's right. Anyway, just want to say that. Take care of yourselves.
Hi, everyone. I am Johnson, Jordan's older brother. Public speaking is not my thing, but I actually need to get better at it, so I'm going to use you guys today. How's everyone doing? Situation. So, to a little bit of a backstory. Me and Jordan, very strong-willed, can be stubborn people, especially when we truly believe something. We really can't tell us nothing. Which is why debates and arguments would go on for so long in the house. So especially when we got older and we could articulate our words better. So they'll just keep going further and further and further. And he was a much better debater than I was.
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth pairing.
Sometimes I have to check the clock. It's like whatever the time is, I'm like, all right, wait a minute. I can see my own double time, so see? Science. So we definitely argue and debate a lot, but if I could get him to just admit one thing, victory. No, but still, I got that. I'm taking that. I'm done. You can have argument. That's mine. I'm leaving with it. So that's one thing. And Mom and Dad would always say, like, if you guys are like two sides of the same coin. If you guys could just stop arguing or debating, you two would be unstoppable. To which, sorry, we still argue because he has popped in a few of my dreams and we're arguing about something. I can't necessarily remember what it always is because you know how we wake up and your dreams one. But it's not as bad as it was. And we'll argue with him, we'll joke, and we'll just laugh a little bit or talk about stuff. And I've kept him up to date on like current events because he was very big on current events and everything going on. Like I can definitely hear what he would be saying given some of the stuff going on right now. Florida. But G's don't die, they multiply. Yes. That is true, and I'm going to nerd out for a little bit here because I consider the soul to be a form of energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only transfer from one vessel or space to another. And also, which is why I say like, oh, this person transitioned, this person graduated because they went somewhere else. Also, when we shine our light, we unconsciously allow other people to shine their lights as well. And especially when you have such an infectious spirit as Jordan does, I can see a lot of that light here and everywhere else. And he would always love to talk and brag about everything that he had going on, and came to a point that I would also brag on his behalf, especially when it came to him working for Nick Mosby or working on Delgado's campaign. That one I definitely bragged about at work because it's Trump country over there. So I use it like for pride, but also to, you know, go twist it to that. So that's so important. And one other thing to follow up on that is also that being the older brother, you're supposed to protect and guide your younger sibling. And Actually, for a lot of it, I guess it was the other way around, because whatever he was doing, support all, it ended up being something that I would do in another facet later on without even realizing. So, like, now I'm a part of this coalition for Black federal employees, and I've had a leadership role as a New York Metro chapter president, looking over about 83 employees across the metro area, and I've now been bumped up to the regional president's assistant, to which I'm like, why? Like, I'm only 32, there's like people that have been here for like 20-something years, and you want me for it. But I guess whenever I do the work, I always think, you know, what would Jordan do? What would Jordan say in this situation? And that's why I say, like, we still argue, because I can hear you, but I don't like it. So I'm arguing with myself, with him, while I'm trying to figure this out. I always make sure I'm in my apartment when I'm doing it, so, like, you know, no one walks by and it's like, yeah, so as saying, like, if you can't stop arguing or debating, but I can say that the two sides of the same coin thing is definitely has been and is continuing to show fruit. So, yeah. I don't know how to end this. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to say anything before we end? Well, everyone, thank you for coming. As it's been mentioned, you know,
Are you closing the whole thing, or
just closing the speaking portion? Okay, cool. But just wanting to just know, as people have said, kind of just checking in grief. So I'm a therapist, so I'm all about checking in, but also having to, you know, throughout this time, having to hold so much space for my clients, for my clients, for friends, for family, with just so much loss in this world. I'm really glad that I can have a community of peers, friends, family, colleagues to just sit in grief with. I've had several losses over the past couple of years, and I've had moments where you know, I didn't have anyone to grieve with. So it's been so beautiful to have a community in such a hard time. So thank everyone, whoever's live streaming, thank you all. I think we, you know, have shown Jordan while he, you know, was here physically and now here with us ethically, that we will show up for him regardless. And we have, and we will continue to. And all of the energy and love that we feel around us, feel in this room, let's please hold on to that, take that with us. You know, they say love is pain. We get different types of pain, but also we can love through pain. So just remember that. Okay. And we're closing the speaking portion. There's something else to share, but please, because we're going to have to wrap up soon, you are welcome to take some of the Polaroids off the tables with you. Take mints, please, please, please. Take snacks and beverages. I have saran wrap, because then it all has to go home with me. And I want you all to have this. Yes, and there's coffee upstairs. There's a ton of stuff. Please take for drives, for your friends, for your family. Give. Thank you all so much.
So,
I think I met him in 2016 in Poughkeepsie. But I have this one video piece. I'm a filmmaker, but I have this something that just felt incredibly special. A friend of mine had a birthday party where she had this sort of setup for people to record a time capsule. So to speak to themselves 25 years into the future. And Jordan attended that, and so we had set up a camera in a room privately, and he spoke to the camera. And it's this really powerful, touching moment. So I want to share that with y'all. But first I'm going to share two videos to show you. The first one is a short sort of like portion of the documentary, because I think so much of Jordan's spirit was truly oriented towards healing the world, fighting for a better reality, and I can honestly say he healed me. The work that we did together in Poughkeepsie was around busing and maintaining routes for people who actually depend on the buses and not, the people who have all the money. And basically, before that effort, I didn't believe that I could do something or be part of something that impacts the world positively, and it feels like such an onslaught of problems in our society. And after that campaign with Jordan, I had something corrected in my soul. And so, this first video is kind of politically oriented and shares a bit. And I guess part of my desire to share this with you all is also sort of request for permission to share this side of Jordan with the world, because this is not in any way the final piece. It's something that's like in development and working on. But so first is that.
But that's the thing. It's funny, right? And this is the thing. This is really what it is. Blackness is weaponized, right? So I can walk into an area and people are on guard, right? You walk by a group of 3 or 4 black dudes, you know, especially at night, but at any time of day, you're on guard, all right? It's weaponized in that way. And it's really funny because really whiteness, you know, obviously is weaponized, is like actually weapon, you know what I'm saying? Like is actually weaponized
and violent
in all these ways where, yeah, how do you because like it's weaponized when y'all don't even plan to use it, right? Obviously Amy Cooper's situation stands out because she clearly was aware and planned to use it, but that happens even when they are not consciously aware and announce what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like whiteness is violent around the world and in every level of interaction, right? Like down to individual, whether you want it to be or not, you know. So how do you stop that from happening? Like, how do you disarm whiteness? You know,
right?
Like it's on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
if you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made. And they haven't even begun to pull the knife out, much less try and heal the wound. They won't even admit the knife is there.
Fred Hampton was 21 years old when COINTELPRO and Chicago PD busted inside his house and shot him up. He was 21 years old. That's incredible. And I had heard about him growing up, but it wasn't until I was 21 that I saw that. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm a failure. Like everything I've done in life is like worth shit because this dude, literally the US government had to take him out.
If we just take a week or two to look at what's really going on in the world, we would start asking the right questions, we would start knocking on the right doors, we would start hitting the streets. That's what happened when George Floyd was killed.
Yeah, it's been very, very well attended. I was out on Saturday and then out again on Monday, and Monday was bigger than Saturday.
how are you gonna get people back inside now? You know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have all these businesses that are still not allowed to be open, I think, in a lot of states, you know. But the things are being lifted, right? But if a second wave comes, you know, I don't know how you're gonna get people back inside after they're experiencing such a level of extreme freedom. You know?
Seriously.
No one was working. Nothing was really happening, right? People were trying to survive COVID. And we started to build one of the biggest protest movements in the history of this country.
Don't remember at what age I knew I was a writer. Probably around the same time that I knew I was a fighter. Dropping thoughts down on paper, felt like I was flying. Look where the world is headed, I think now is good timing for me to live my truth. Yell it out loud. I'm a born artist, no more hiding in the crowd. September 22nd.
One person said there should be a march from Baltimore to DC to just like out Trump, get him out of the fucking office. Like it feels like, you know, we're at a bit of a boiling point.
Now, that would be something, okay? Like now, that would definitely be something if millions of people stormed DC, stormed the White House, trying to get Donald Trump, right? People would die in that process.
If we stay in the streets, and not just staying in the streets ourselves, but bringing thousands more with us, unrelenting in the demand that this regime must go and must go now, we can make history, and we can begin to lift the boots off the necks of our brothers and sisters. We can make that happen. You can make that happen.
I mean, so my mom has been doing this, right? My mom is so upset because she's like, well, how is Trump still in office? How can he do this? And to this country, how can he do this and not face any consequences and stay in office?
Yeah.
And stay in this position, right? And I was like, no, they impeached, you know, they did the whole impeachment thing. And she's like, yes, but there has to be something else. Okay, like we need to just take it, like remove him. I'm like, Mom, you're talking about a military coup? You know, and she's like, well, it doesn't have to be like that. I'm like, well, there's no other way. You know what I'm saying? Like the illegal way is impeachment. And we tried that, it didn't work. You know, like you're gonna have to violently remove him, you know, now. You know what I'm saying?
We've got babies in cages.
I feel like that's the next will of the people, you know? I mean, the system is built on white supremacy. It can't indict itself, you know?
And try Trump and pick out the White House. And on this birthday today, we need to say, fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Justice for George Floyd! Justice out now!
The thing that he was impeached on, like, it had to be something that just was outside of the nation state. You know, he's done so much like egregious shit, but like it was just this
See,
one
that's the
little
thing.
thing
It's
about
funny,
Joe
right? This is the thing.
Biden's
This is
son.
really,
You know?
right? Blackness is
The struggle
weaponized.
is
Right? It's like you walk into an
super
area and
educated.
people are,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right?
people, you know
You
how
walk
much
by
shit people learned
like
in the
a group
last
of
3
3 or
months?
4
I
black
am so
dudes,
impressed with white
you know,
folks. You know
especially
what I'm
at
saying?
night, but any
Like,
time
I'm
of day,
obviously, you know, being a
you're
little
on
jokey,
guard.
but
All right,
like,
it's
there's all
weaponized
kinds
in
of
that
shit
way.
that came out just in the
And
last
it's
3
really
months.
funny
You know what I'm
because
saying?
it's
I don't know
really
what's gonna go from here,
whiteness,
but in the last 5
obviously,
years,
is
a lot of people are
weaponized. Like,
radicalized.
because
You know,
that's
and
the
it's
thing.
in
It's
these
funny,
issues.
right? And this is the
You
thing.
know,
This is
like
really
things
what
like
it is.
you know, things like Trump radicalized people. Things like Corona radicalized people. The last 3 months. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's gonna go from here. You know, but in the last 5 years, a lot of people are radicalized. I don't care where you are, you know, and it's in these issues. If you're a person of color, you got some type of struggle. You know, things like Trump radicalized people. Things like
As a
Corona
person
radicalized
that
people. Just
is
saying. You know. So I've been like organizing, you know,
of color,
struggling, you know, because I don't care where you are in this
particularly
country.
black,
Like if you're a person of color, you got some type of struggle, you know.
you
that
live in a world that
you
doesn't
can
want
learn
you to
from.
be alive. As a person that is, every day you wake up, you're thinking, how am I going to make the day? How am I going to make it to the end of the day? Particularly black. When my friend Pansy you live in a world that doesn't want you to be alive. And every day you wake up, I was thinking, how am I going to make the connection between mental health and capitalism? When my friend Pansy white supremacy passed, took his life, patriarchy. You know, we live in a white supremacist, capitalist, I was thinking, society. Well, what's the connection between mental health and capitalism? How does mental health play into white supremacy?
There are people that argue we need to build our own systems. We need to completely divest from this. We need to have our own situation. And I'm fine with that, but I agree that the public education system still today argue we need to build our own systems. We need to completely divest from this. We need to have our own certain things because so many of and I'm fine with that. But I agree that the public education system still today have those conversations, and we could talk about an arena of struggle. We have to fight for building our own certain things because so many of our people fall through this thing. You know what I'm saying? So and you know, I have those conversations, and we could talk a little bit more about that, you know, Jay, because I've been, you know, having these conversations about build our own shit, or do we like make the state fucking, you know what I'm saying? So.
Whatever. I don't know if they told you, but we had 2 takes of this because we did 1 take earlier, but the audio wasn't on. So I said a lot of amazing, beautiful, inspirational, crazy things. So the world will never know. But since I'm back here now, and I guess I have a more refined way of saying what I wanted to say before, I will say this. I hope you love yourself. I hope you love everyone around you. I hope they know that you love them. I hope you're doing, you know, all the dreams and aspirations that we had. expressing ourselves to the fullest degree, you know, whether it was through comedy or music or writing or acting or political shit, you know, just do you. You know, I hope you're doing you. We're not doing the system or anybody else. We're doing you. Because you remember how important that shit was. You remember, right? That the whole world, the one thing the world is missing is you. Remember that? When we figured that out. That to be yourself is not a favor to you. It's not a, you know, it's not like an option. It's not a thing, a nice thing for you to do, you know, that being yourself is revolutionary. That being yourself, especially as a black person, is, you know, there's no words for that. So I hope you love yourself. You are being yourself. And hope you're doing what you came here to do. And whatever it is, 25 years from now, it might not be what it is now. So, as long as you're doing what you came here to do, what you should be doing. Because your mission right now might be different from my mission. It's Halloween. It's October 31st, 2017. A week from now is the craziest election of your life so far, which you probably remember, the bus campaign in Poughkeepsie. And you became an organizer. I'm dealing with a rough time right now. It's rough right now. A lot of change, a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. But you're okay. You're just coping. Trying to deal with it. You don't like where you are, but you don't dislike where you are either. I mean, enough about me. I guess this is about you. I hope mom is good. Give mom all my love. And dad. Tell them you love them, call them right now. Or mental telepathy or hologram, whatever the hell we got going on. Do it and let them know that you love them. And your brother, Alton. I hope he's doing you know, the right thing. Because, you know, he does some crazy shit sometimes. I hope he's doing him. I feel like he spent too much time doing what mom and dad want him to do, you know. I hope he's doing him. You know. I love my brother. I love my family. Anyway. And if you found love, that's great. You have kids, that's great. You know, you can show us to your kids, hey, I'm your daddy. Or I don't know if I still like identify as a male at that time, but I mean, hey, I'm one of your creators. Not the one putting the real work. No. Whoever like had the vagina and like carried you, man, you better do whatever you gotta do. Show appreciation, but yeah. So yeah, anyway, all that's to say, this is me from the past telling you in the future, which is the present, that I love you and I'm rooting for you. And so are all of us. Everybody's rooting for you. You know it. You know that. You don't want to know it. You pretend like, oh, no. Everyone's rooting for you, motherfucker. Do what you gotta do. Do what you came here to do. That's all you gotta do. And that's gonna be easy because you already want to do it, already know how to do it. That's why you're here to do it. So do it. And if anyone got you to say, well, you're 49, you're fine. And write it down, record it, document yourself. Document everything. Like this. This is a great document. Yeah. Jordan, 24 years old, talking about his 25-year in the future self. 49, his 49-year-old self. Yeah. This is going to be a golden document someday. And if it's not already, it still will be. All right, you just got to put your shit, put your shit together. But this is going to be a golden document someday. So, yeah. Oh, do you still listen to Kanye West? How would he do it in 25 years from now? I bet he was right about everything, right? Wasn't he? I bet he was. I believe him. Anyway, love you.